Every time professionals, especially engineers, talk about increasing their income, the conversation usually goes in one direction. More certifications, more technical depth, more skill stacking. And I'm not against that at all. You already know I'm pro certification, I'm pro enterprise, I'm pro hard work. But after working in infrastructure, consulting, and teaching professionals, I've noticed something that doesn't get talked about enough. The people who make the biggest jumps in pay aren't just technical, they understand leverage. And that's what we're breaking down today. The highest paying skills for engineers and professionals that almost nobody talks about, not because they're secret, but because they're overlooked. Let's get into it. Let's start with the first skill, intentional ownership. And no, it isn't about taking the blame when something goes wrong. It's about how you handle real ownership when it's given to you. Most people think ownership simply means finishing tasks. They think if they say yes and deliver what was given, that's enough. But real growth doesn't come from passive execution. It comes from intentional ownership. Let me give you a simple example. Your manager asks, can you take on this new initiative? You say yes, because that's how careers grow. New skills come from stretch projects. Scopes grow when you raise your hand. The people who move up are usually the ones willing to step into discomfort, but intentional ownership goes beyond just saying yes. It means you care about the outcome, not just the task. You understand what success looks like. You think about the impact. You consider how the work helps the team. You make sure the result is strong and visible. That's ownership. Not just doing what was asked, but treating the work like it matters. Because strong performance leads to growth. I've experienced that myself. When you take ownership with intent, your growth becomes steady instead of accidental. The highest paid people don't just finish assignments, they elevate them. They connect their work to the team impact. They make sure that effort moves the organization forward. That's intentional ownership. The second highest paying skill most professionals overlook is strategic storytelling. And before you roll your eyes and think this is just about being a better speaker, let's define what this actually means. Strategic storytelling is the ability to clearly explain the impact of your work in a way that decision makers understand. Not your peers, not other engineers, decision makers. Because here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. Most promotions and compensation decisions are not made in purely technical conversations. They're made in rooms where business impact is the language. You can solve a massive infrastructure problem. You can stabilize an environment that was falling apart. You can automate something that saves 20 hours a week. But the story of that work is, yeah, I fixed it. You just lost leverage. Strategic storytelling is framing your work in terms of outcomes. Instead of, I migrated the system, you say, we reduced downtime risk and improved deployment speed. Instead of, I automated the process, you say, we saved the team 10 hours per week. Same work, different framing. One sounds technical, the other sounds valuable. Leadership doesn't live in the technical weeds. If you don't translate your work into impact, you leave your visibility up to chance, and visibility is tied to compensation. The professionals who move up faster are clearer. They document wins, they connect technical output to business outcomes. That's strategic storytelling. The third high-paying skill is something most engineers never think about: intellectual property and business awareness. And no, this doesn't mean you need to become a lawyer or sit in finance meetings all day. It means understanding how your work connects to revenue, costs, risk, and ownership. Here's what I've noticed. A lot of technical professionals operate like this. My job is to build it. My job is to fix it. My job is to deliver the solution. But the highest paid professionals understand something deeper. They understand what the solution means to the business. For example, if you automate a manual process, that's great, but what does it actually mean? Does it reduce labor costs? Does it reduce operational risk? Does it increase deployment speed? Does it protect revenue during peak hours? Those questions change how you think. Because once you start thinking in terms of business impact, you stop being just a technical contributor, you become a strategic asset. In many organizations, systems and automation becomes intellectual property. That internal tool you built, that script that saved 15 hours a week, that becomes part of the company's operational advantage. This is where business awareness starts to influence income. You're trusted with bigger decisions. You're invited into higher level conversations. You're looped into planning, not just execution. And planning roles almost always pay more than execution only roles. This doesn't mean you stop being technical. It means you expand your awareness. You ask, how does this impact cost? How does this impact uptime? How does this impact competitive advantage? How does this align with company priorities? When you start thinking like that, your conversations change. And when your conversations change, your positioning changes. And when your positioning changes, compensation eventually follows. That's why business awareness is a high-paying skill. Not because it's flashy, but because it moves you from operator to strategic professional. The fourth high-paying skill is cross-functional communication. And this one doesn't replace technical skill, it multiplies it. Because let's be clear, performance still matters. You still have to deliver, you still have to execute, you still have to be strong technically, but as your scope increases, the job changes. You're no longer just solving technical problems, you're aligning teams, you're explaining trade-offs, you're helping other departments understand technical risks. In larger environments, decisions involve multiple groups. Security, finance, operations, product, leadership, each cares about something different. If you can connect your technical work to their priorities, and the expanded scope drives compensation. Let me be very clear about something. The people who get promoted are still strong performers, but the ones who move faster are the ones who can operate across complexity without creating friction. They don't just solve the problem, they align the room, they reduce confusion, they help different teams move in the same direction. That's not politics, that's professional maturity. And organizations pay more for professionals who can operate at that level. Because the higher you move, the more your job becomes about coordination, clarity, and decision making, not just execution. So this skill doesn't replace technical excellence, it protects and amplifies it, and that's why it pays. Skill number 5, positioning and visibility. And before anyone hears that and thinks self-promotion, let's define it properly. Positioning is making sure performance is understood. That's it. Because performance absolutely matters. But in professional environments, especially large organizations, performance that isn't communicated clearly can get diluted. Managers manage multiple people. Directors oversee multiple teams. Executives are looking at strategy, budgets, and risks. They are not tracking every individual contribution in detail. If your work is strong but invisible, you're relying on assumption. An assumption is not a compensation strategy. Positioning means being intentional about how your work is framed. After a major project, send a clear summary. What problem was solved, what risk was reduced, what impact was delivered. That's not bragging, that's documentation. Performance gets you in the room. Visibility keeps you in the conversation. Those moments compound. Leadership starts associating your name with clarity, and clarity reduces risk. That's why positioning is a high-paying skill. It protects and amplifies performance. None of these skills replace technical ability. You still need real competence, but leverage determines how far that takes you. Which one of these 5 are you intentionally developing? Because when you build both, your career trajectory becomes predictable. That's it for today. If this resonated with you, make sure you subscribe. On this channel, we talk about engineering, professional growth, leverage, and positioning clearly and practically. Drop in the comments which one you're going to focus on first, and let's build.